Nothing in this podcast or on our website should be construed as medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider for your individual nutritional and medical needs. The information presented is based on our research and is strictly that of the author and not necessarily those of any professional group or other individual.
Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers. Welcome to Sue's Healthy Minutes. I'm so excited you've joined me today, and I hope this episode encourages you and allows you to find the answers you have been praying for the health of you and your family. Today on Sue's Healthy Minutes, we will be hearing an incredible It's the Bread story. The email to me from my guest today began like this. I want to share with you the miracle that freshly milled flour is doing for my body after a little over a year. I have just celebrated my 71st birthday. Okay, I'm sure these two sentences caught your attention as it did mine. After reading the rest of her email, I knew she needed to be my guest on Sue's Healthy Minutes so that everyone listening might be blessed. Her testimony is powerful. So let me introduce Marsha Powell to you all. Marsha, thank you so much for joining today. I can't wait for you to tell your story, and I'm so glad we finally connected after a lot of back and forth.
I'm so excited to be with you to share this. I sent the email. I had no idea it would get a response, but I'm so glad. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. Well, before we dive into your story, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from? Do you work? Are you retired? Little background.
Okay. I live in South Texas, a little community called Bigfoot, from Bigfoot Wallace, Texas Ranger.
Okay.
About 45 minutes south of San Antonio. So my late husband and I, we were farmers. We farmed rice on the Texas Gulf Coast for years until he retired, and we sold our farms and moved here to South Texas. Since he passed away, I have I've just been doing life. I'm a year-round volunteer for Operation Christmas Child with Samaritan's Purse. That keeps me busy all the time. And I also have a little quilting business where I make quilts for people.
Oh, man, that sounds so exciting. That sounds wonderful. Well, but you've had quite the health journey. You mentioned that you are a survivor of chronic Lyme disease, and you were sick for years, which caused caused some pretty significant health struggles for you, right?
It did. I was told when I finally found a doctor that would treat me, I was told I would never get over it.
Wow.
But I have been symptom free for 3.5 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. Don't you love to hear those words?
Yeah.
You'll never get over it. You'll live with this the rest of your life. But
I would not have gotten over it if I hadn't found this wonderful doctor in Lubbock, Texas. For years, every 6 months, I drove to Lubbock to see him. And so it was through him teaching me about how to eat, what to eat, just basically how to stay healthy. I think that is why I was able to get over it as much as I have.
Yeah. So the Lyme disease, though, caused you to develop Hashimoto's?
Yes. They will not say it causes it, but they will say a lot of people who have Lyme disease also have Hashimoto's.
Okay.
That's how they explain it. And then also the same thing, they won't say that Hashimoto's causes vitiligo, but people who have Hashimoto's also have vitiligo. So, it's all autoimmune related.
Exactly. Yeah. So for my listeners, most of you probably are familiar with Hashimoto's thyroid disease, which is, of course, an autoimmune disease, but you may not be familiar with vitiligo. vitiligo is also an autoimmune condition that can cause your skin to lose color or pigment. Some of you may have seen it. Your immune system actually attacks and destroys the melanocytes, which are skin cells that produce melanin, the chemical that gives your skin its color or its pigmentation. So this will cause your skin to appear lighter than your natural skin tone, or sometimes even turn white. So for you, Marsha, it began small, but it progressed
Yes,
over time, right? Yeah, tell us about
yes,
that.
yes. I had the Lyme disease for about 3.5 years before I was just not feeling well, but I knew it wasn't the Lyme symptoms, and that's when I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's.
Yeah.
And then about 2 years after that, I had been to Hawaii in February and got this nice tan. And when I came home, I noticed I had one spot on my knuckle on my right hand that was white. I just sort of ignored it, didn't think very much about it. And then it started spreading. At first, just spread a little bit. And then 7 years ago in 2018, all of this was unexpected. My husband passed away. 57 days after he passed away, my stepson passed away.
Oh, my goodness.
And then 14 months after that, my daughter-in-law passed away,
oh, my goodness.
And it was just all three of those deaths so close together. And when that happened, the vitiligo just spread like crazy. I thought it was just going to take over. But after a few months, it settled down and it didn't spread for years. So that's been 7 years. And then the miracle happened.
But 3 different doctors told you there was no treatment for the vitiligo.
Yes. They say it doesn't hurt anything. You can put makeup over it, but there's nothing you can do about it. And so I lived with it. I was, it never got to my face, and it's on my hands, my feet, and on my arms. And, and then in the wintertime, it doesn't show up so much because I tan real easily,
right?
And I'm outdoors a lot. So in the summertime, it shows up more. But I just lived with it. It didn't affect me that much.
Yeah. Some things we can, but others it's not so easily. But yeah, what a trying time that must have been for you. My heart just breaks for hearing.
It was when my daughter-in-law, I will never forget that. I mean, she was sitting on her couch painting her nails and she died just like that.
Oh my goodness.
That was devastating to me. I could, because I was so close to her. She was like a daughter to me. I was so close to her. So you grieve the others, but you grieve because of your son losing his wife and your grandson losing his mother, So that was just, it was like triple. But God is good. He got us all through it. We're all doing great now. So,
but even with the Lord's help, those are still stresses on our body.
Yes.
Trauma is a very powerful thing. And I can only imagine with doctors simply telling you to live with it and there was no treatment, that had to be very discouraging, to say the least.
It was, but because I had been so sick with the Lyme disease and I felt good. So this was just a little thing. It didn't really bother me that much. The vitiligo did not, because if I could feel good, I didn't care.
I hear you. You like, if this is what I have to live with, then I can deal with it. So
yes.
Yeah, but then came more struggles, allergies, sinus infections. But
yes.
But you know what? The enemy intends for evil. God uses it for good, because that's what ultimately led you to Real Bread, right?
It did. So I always tried to, ever since I had the Lyme disease, I tried to eat healthy foods, I knew what to do, but I've sort of gotten away from it. Then 2023 and 2024, I was so sick with allergies, and then by August of both years, I had severe sinus infections. I had scans of my sinuses done. They couldn't find anything wrong other than severe environmental allergies. So, and that led to just these horrible sinus infections. So, what in August of 2024, my sister-in-law called me. She's so sweet. I just love her. She said, "Have you ever thought about doing fresh milled flour for your allergies?" I never heard of it. I did not know anything about it. So she told me, she was sharing with me what she'd been doing it for a few months and how it had helped her digestion and how she was feeling so much better. So we sat and talked for a little while on the phone. And so as soon as I got off the phone, I ordered your book. And I ordered me a meal, and I've been doing it ever since. So,
wow.
baking my bread. And she is just amazing. She teaches people. She lives in a little community in West Texas. She teaches people how to bake their own bread. And she sells bread, and she is just really, really promoting health and to everyone she knows. So I credit her. Her name is Cheryl Bryan, and I give her the credit for leading me to this.
That's amazing. Yeah, you said you began your journey of making my wonderful bread. I love that. So after you started doing the bread, you noticed that you had very little allergies and very little sinus problems, right?
Yes, I had only one time, I had a slight sinus infection. It was not bad. I had very little allergies the entire summer. And I know it was from the bread.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you noticed what about the pigmentation on your foot and your hand?
Well, just one day I looked down at my left foot, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's not white anymore. It only has one small dot of white on the top of my left foot. And so then I looked at my arms, and from my wrist to my elbow, I had over an inch wide strip of white with no pigmentation from my wrist to my elbow on both arms. So my left arm is completely back to normal, my normal brown pigmentation. My right arm has just got a few dots on it left. My left hand, which is almost back to normal, it's just got a little bit of white on it. And my right hand, where all of this started, and that is also where I had the rash from the Lyme disease, is on my right hand. Mm-hmm. It still has some white on it, but it is better. And my best friend, who I don't see very often, but she was at my house Monday, and I hadn't told her any of this, and she looked at my hands. She said, "Oh my goodness, your hands are so much better."
Yeah.
So it's noticed. It's to the point where it's noticeable to other people, and just not me.
That is so amazing. And what we think there is no treatment for, and nothing you can do.
Yes.
God's like, you know what? I have an answer for you.
I know He does. And it's not something I never heard of it here. Doing this. I was doing it for my allergies.
Yeah.
And for my overall health. And also I'm not on my thyroid medicine anymore.
That's amazing.
And I'm taking half of my blood pressure pill that I usually do for my high blood pressure. So overall, I think it has really improved my overall health.
Wow. Praise the Lord. What an amazing, glorious testimony.
I know. He is so good. God is so good.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is. And you're right. When you sent your email, you said, I don't think you've ever heard anyone share this. And I'm like, no, I never have. Okay, but I want to back up just a minute. I want you to share a little bit about your baking journey. You're 71 years old. I will soon be 71 years old. But my
Oh, okay.
journey,
Okay.
yeah, my journey started 34 years ago when I was much younger. Was it hard for you to get started at this age, or had you ever baked deep breads before? Did you enjoy cooking?
Yes, and I love baking bread. I used to bake bread a lot. I had my recipe that I got out of a Red Book magazine when I was a young
Yeah.
newlywed mother. And I loved baking bread, but when I got the Lyme disease, it was limited grains, and then
Oh, yeah.
then when I developed Hashimoto's, I was told to go gluten free, which I
Oh,
did for a long time, and I had just gradually got back to eating, but not as much. I tried to watch what I ate,
yeah.
but so yeah, the baking the bread was easy for me. My sister-in-law Cheryl helped me. She told me her little steps that she does, and so yeah, I keep the bread baked all the time. I did have to back away from the delicious cinnamon rolls and cookies and all of that.
Yeah.
But if I do make a dessert or anything, I do with fresh milled flour.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
amazing.
I don't even buy white flour anymore. I don't. So it's
Right. Who wants that to come into our house? I don't. So, yeah.
no, absolutely. I have a bag of flour that I bought way before I started all this, and it's still sitting in my pantry. So
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it funny how we won't throw it away, but we know we're never going to use it. So,
and it won't deteriorate; it'll last forever.
you're exactly right. So you went all in, and I know
I
our
did.
listeners
I did.
I know they're already wondering, how much bread do you eat every day? Do you eat it every meal?
I Not every meal. I would say I eat 2 to 3 slices a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably good sized slices a day. I live by myself, so it's just me, and so I bake, and I like to give it away too. So I bake it quite often. So I have my little system to where I put it in my bread machine and then take it out, use the dough cycle, and then I take it out and put it in pans and bake
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to make it too. So, do you make the muffins and everything? But what's your favorite bread? One that's a staple that you've got to have it every day.
I use your basic bread recipe in your cookbook.
Yeah,
That's what I use. I
it's
use
such a
that.
great recipe.
Yes. I use that. Also, like I love the cinnamon rolls. I love to do that, but I haven't. I sort of backed off on those because I was eating too many. But
Yeah,
yeah, but and then if I have to take cookies or something, I like to do. I like to bake cookies, and this is something that was interesting. So I have a cookie recipe that was my great grandmother's. It's a molasses cookie. And it's my oldest son, it's his favorite cookie. So I made it for him for his birthday, and it turned out wonderful with the fresh
yeah,
milled flour.
yes.
I didn't change anything up. And I was thinking, well, so my great grandmother lived in the 1800s and early 1900s. So that recipe may have been intended for the fresh milled flour.
Absolutely. And I find people like my cookies better than with white flour. They're not just sickeningly sweet. They actually have some flavor. Your story is truly, as you stated to me, your first line, a miracle.
It is.
One that we can all be so grateful for, and praise God for his perfect provision. I just keep thinking when we get no hope from others, the medical profession or healthcare professionals, God has an answer and he sends it. And Anyway, I'm just so excited and glad that you shared this miracle with me and now sharing it with everybody else. So before we close, are there any final words of encouragement that you'd like to share with our listeners today? Anything we didn't mention?
There's nothing I can think of that we didn't mention, but please, yes, start baking bread. Start doing this for the health of your family. It's just, I've shared this with people that I know that are with skin issues and just different health issues. Go, back to the basics. I do a lot of, I can a lot of my own food because we know what the ingredients are. And so when you bake your bread, I use the avocado oil. I use my homegrown eggs. There's nothing in there that's not healthy.
Right. And like you said, you know what's in there. Just like when you can your own fruits and vegetables, you know what's in there.
Yes.
And in this day and age, we can't be sure of what's in that food that we're buying in the store today.
I know it is. I even, friends of mine have put they're raising their own Wagyu beef. And I even paid a high dollar amount for a steak the other day, but it was worth every penny of it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that is so great.
It's just getting back to the basics of eating healthy, doing your own, and the fresh meal flour is a big part of it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and that's my teaching and philosophy for years and years. Has always been just eat real food, but the grains, the freshly milled flour, the bread is a huge part of it. I hear people all the time share their stories. I was eating good. I was eating clean. They put that bread in there and it's so nutritionally dense and full of fiber. And Jesus compared himself to bread. It's amazing. They see health benefits that sometimes they didn't even realize that they were missing. So, it's just amazing. So just thank you so much, Marsha, for taking the time to write out your testimony and sending it to me. Thank you now for sharing with all our listeners. I know that this is going to be a light for those who are discouraged and may feel hopeless, or maybe they have been told they just have to live with what they're dealing with. God has answered to our prayers, and He certainly answered yours. And maybe, just maybe, that answer to your prayer is real bread.
It is. It's the part because I never expected to be healed from vitiligo. I never asked God to heal me. I never expected it. So I begged for healing from Lyme disease. Yeah. But I just thought this was such a minor thing. But, he's a God of the little things too.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is. The majors and the minors. There's really no minors with Him.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I just want to thank you again, Marsha, for taking the time. I'm so glad we connected. Thank you all for listening today. I hope that you are as encouraged as I am from hearing Marsha's story. And if you feel hopeless and discouraged, just remember her story and let it lift you up, and praise God for your healing that's coming. Until next time, this is Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minutes.
Sue's Healthy Minutes podcast has been a presentation by the Bread Beckers Incorporated, located in Woodstock, Georgia. For more information, store hours, and learning opportunities, visit breadbeckers.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Share this with 2 friends who would benefit from this information, and be sure to join us again next week for more of Sue's Healthy Minutes.